Hi, my name is Emma, and today I want to talk about Glass Sword by Victoria Aveyard. Glass Sword is the second book following the Red Queen. It picks up right where the Red Queen left off. We follow Mare after Maven's betrayal as she works with the rebels to try and find all of these people, red and silver and stronger than both. They come to be called New Bloods, and she works to find them before Maven does and keep them safe and have them join her posse squad. We meet a whole bunch of new characters. We see a lot more of the New Bloods and the crazy powers that they all have. We get to see Mare inch her way into anti-herodom. She follows kind of a dark path in this book, which was really interesting and really fun to read about. This book was kind of I was into it, but I was kind of not sure what to think. And then halfway through, it just kicked in. I couldn't put it down, and craziness was happening. And then the ending blew my mind. So, if you read Red Queen, you picked it up and you didn't get past like the first 100 pages, I'd encourage you to keep reading. Yes, I have my issues with these books, but I don't care. I seriously don't care. The ending was so good. I love her cliffhangers and plot twists that Victoria Aveyard does that I kind of get past all the issues that I have with the book. After I finished this, I was lost for like 2 days. I didn't know what to do with myself. I couldn't stop thinking about it, and I wanted the next one right away. I'm really glad that I didn't read this when it first came out, because I would have lost my mind waiting for the next book for a whole year. And as it is, now I just have to wait, I don't know, 6 months, which is still gonna drive me crazy. First of all, can we just talk about how beautiful this book is? So beautiful. It's so beautiful. I mean, the last one was beautiful too, but this one is just even more beautiful. Like, every page is amazing. I even love like the spacing and the font and these little chapter heading things. It's just perfect. I love how this one picks up right where the last one left off. Like, there's no time gap at all. We literally pick up in the same place. And Victoria Aveyard said that that's what she plans to do with all of the books, which makes sense because of her freaking cliffhangers. That also means that we start the book right in the middle of the action. Right in the beginning, we have that super intense scene where Maven pops up. I wasn't expecting Maven to come back so quickly, but he did. Kind of the role that Maven plays throughout the whole book. Like, he just pops up wherever they go and causes trouble and distress. I really liked how dark all of our heroes got in this book. Mare was a serious anti-hero through most of this book, and even Cal was pretty dark at some points. A lot of the action scenes in this book I found kind of confusing, like the Harbor Bay scene when they were breaking into that place to get information. The play-by-play of what was happening I found kind of confusing. I'm glad we got to see more of Mare and Killorn together in this book. Though I find Killorn kind of annoying at times. Sometimes he can be kind of rude and annoying, but him and Mare have always had that kind of argumentative relationship. When he locked her in that cell with Cal, I lost my mind. I was so upset that it took me forever to catch on that he wasn't actually betraying them. I didn't like the whole part where they were at Tuck, to be honest. I was glad that they were not there for very long, and I did not trust that Colonel dude. I like how Cal can just fly a jet. Is there anything that he cannot do? I felt so bad for Cal this whole book. He has lost everything. Like, in the last book, he had to kill his dad, who he loved. He lost his title as heir to the throne. He lost his brother who betrayed him. He found out that his stepmom killed his mom. And now he's on the run with these rebels, and he's got nothing and nobody except for Mare. He's with these rebels. Obviously, they don't trust him after Maven. And they get to Tuck, and they just lock him up, like, right away. So I'm curious to see what Cal is thinking, if he still wants to be king, if he wants to kill Maven and then take over as king. There were so many good moments with Shade. I love that scene when Cal is all hesitant about swimming across the river, and Killorn's just, like, laughing at him, and Mare is encouraging him, and they make such a big deal out of it. And Cal finally swims to the other side, and Shade just jumps Farley across and scoffs at them, and he's like, idiots. When we meet Nyx and he attacks Cal, I don't know what you guys thought was happening, but I thought that he was some randomly loyal red, loyal to the king, and that he was attacking Cal because he knew that he killed the king. But no, that's not what happened. It was that his daughters died in the war. Cal gets beat up a lot in these books. He's imprisoned and he escapes, and then he's imprisoned again, and then he escapes again. He gets beat to a pulp by the first new blood that they meet. This poor guy. I do really like Cal. I think that he's great, but I don't ship Cal and Mare. I never did. Even in the first book, I thought they had cute moments when she pushes his hair back after he swims across the lake, but I just, that scene though, when Maven has that machine thing and he's like hurting Mare, that scene was really intense. Maven does some terrible things in this book, but I have some theories. I'm holding out hope. I still ship Mare and Maven. I do. I know that it seems ridiculous, but I feel like there's so much more going on with Maven than we see. If you think about it, we only see him like 3 times in this book. Everything else is all secondhand information, like the notes and people like mentioning stuff that he's done. But we don't actually see him doing any of this stuff. Oh, Maven's letters to Mare were so creepy. Did anybody else think of the Darkling in Siege and Storm? I kind of liked it, but it was really creepy. I love when Mare wakes up and Cal and Killorn are there and they're getting along. That scene is where everything kicked in for me. In that scene after Killorn leaves and Cal and Mare kiss and it's all cute and stuff. Like, that scene is a good example of why I don't like their relationship. He says something like, "I won't let anyone hurt you again." And she says, "I believe you," but it says, "I was lying." That right there is why I don't like their relationship. Ugh. I understand because they've been through really similar things, that they kind of cling to each other. But I really don't think that they'll last as a couple unless they seriously change how they communicate. The whole scene where Killorn tells Mare that he loves her is such a good scene. Like, so much happens in just that little bit. Not that I ship Killorn and Mare. Killorn says something about, "You can't pick who you love," and Mare does not think of Cal. Who does she think of? Maven. She thinks of Maven. Look. But in the deepest part of me, in spite of every fiber of my being, I think, beyond the clearing to ice-colored eyes, an empty promise, and a kiss aboard a boat. Killorn, I'm glad that you called her out and stuff, but do you have to be so mean about it? And he finally says that he loves her and it's so sad, but I like how he doesn't expect anything from her. Like, he knows that she feels about him as just a friend. Mare is so deeply scarred from Maven's betrayal. This whole book, she doesn't trust anybody. Even Shade, who she trusts more than other people, she definitely doesn't trust Cal. She takes everything so personally. Cal was the prince like 3 days ago. It makes sense that he wouldn't want to join the rebels. That's not a betrayal of Mare. And she also does the opposite. She blames herself for everything. Meanwhile, Cal is still always taking care of Mare. That scene where he kept flying around in the plane so that she would keep sleeping because he knew that if they landed, she would get up and start hunting for more new bloods. I like Cal. I think that he's really sweet and caring, but I don't like them as a couple. John's character was really interesting. We don't see a lot of him, but his powers are crazy. At the end, when he was there with Maven, I was kind of confused. Did he betray them or did he get captured? It was kind of unclear. I'm sure we'll find out in the beginning of the next one. Cameron, she was really annoying, but I feel like once her and Mare get over themselves, they could be really good friends. Like, they're kind of similar. Or they could at least be allies. The scene in the plane where she was turning Mare off, she's like Adam and Shatter Me, but actually useful. The prison breakout scene was another scene that I was kind of confused in. One of the things I really liked about the last book was that those exciting scenes, they played out like an action movie. Like, my heart would be racing. A lot of the scenes didn't do that in this second book, but this prison breakout scene, even though I was a little bit confused as to the details, it did. Like, I was excited. I was nervous. Nanny's power is super cool. The fact that she can just shapeshift into any person. I think that's the one I would want to have. When Mare killed all of those soldiers for no reason at all, one of the things that really frustrates me is it's like she forgets that she learned that it doesn't matter if your blood is silver or red or if you're a new blood. There can be good and bad people amongst all of them. She either hasn't figured that out or she just forgets. She's killed a lot of people in this book, if you think about it. Cal ignoring her after that scene, that was not okay. You're in the middle of life and death situation. Have it out later. She killed a bunch of silvers. Yes, I understand it's important to him. Now is not the time, Cal, to throw a hissy fit. Please. I was so happy that we got Julian back. Mare needs Julian Queen Elara died so quick. I was expecting that to be a lot harder. Now I'm kind of suspicious as to what was going on. There's so much we don't know about Maven and Queen Elara and what they've been doing, but I do hope that Queen Elara didn't die on purpose, because Victoria Aveyard loves to do those plot twists, and this just seemed too easy. I have to talk about Shade eventually. I'm getting choked up. Victoria Aveyard was just setting us up this whole book. I knew it was coming. I knew Shade was gonna die because she kept talking about how useful he was, what a good brother he was, how his powers were like necessary. So I knew that he was gonna die, because why else would she keep mentioning how awesome he was? Why else would she make us love him so much? And then Shade and Farley wasn't a big part of the book, but I really liked them together. He's such a good brother. He was always looking out for Mare, and he seemed to really understand her and know when she needed space or when she needed someone to talk to her. And he didn't make issues out of little things. Right before they go into the prison to break out all the new bloods, Shade says to Mare something about how it's worth the cost and they're doing the right thing. And right then I was like, here it comes. Shade's gonna die. I was right. Even though I predicted Shade's death, I was not ready. And the way that he died was the most heartbreaking that it could have been. It just happened like that. And he fell to the ground, and I was like, does anybody else think that Farley's question that she had, that John told Mare the answer was yes? Does anybody else think that it was that she's pregnant? I love how Killorn doesn't make a big fuss about things. When they get back to Tuck and Mare's about to lay out her plan, everybody is mad at her. And Killorn just sits next to her and he's like, you weren't yourself, I understand. Killorn and Mare, but they're both really annoying, but their friendship has some really cute moments that I enjoyed in this book. It made this like big plan and they don't even make it there. Maven just crashes their plane. Again, I was a little bit confused as to what was going on, but I figured it out. Mare gives herself up as prisoner, and in the end we didn't have any assurance that he let the others go. I was so emotional for the whole end of this book. Victoria Aveyard's cliffhangers are insane. Halfway through the book I was like, this book's gonna end and Mare's gonna give herself up to Maven and it's gonna end with everybody split apart. That's the thing about Victoria Aveyard's books. I feel like a lot of times I predict what's gonna happen, but I still really enjoy it when it does happen. And I predicted that, but I did not predict how insane it would drive me, because the whole epilogue just like... The last line is like my favorite line in the whole book, and it's like 2 words long. That last ending paragraph of the epilogue, I just can't. I can't explain, and I need the next book now. His expression is unreadable, but his meaning is clear. With one hand, he points at his feet. His fingers are whiter than I remember. I do as he says. I kneel. What? As far as what's gonna happen in the next one, I am convinced that there is more going on than we think. Honestly, I am holding out hope that Maven is not an evil psychopath. His mom, we know, is an evil psychopath. My theory through this whole book was that Queen Elara was influencing him while she was alive. But she died, so technically I could still be right, because we only see him once after she dies in the end, and he seems pretty evil, but he's obviously grieving. It could be his grief that's making him a little scary. I'm holding out hope that there's an explanation. That's all I have to say about Glass Sword by Victoria Aveyard. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. My name is Emma. Thanks for watching.